it's 10 to 7, just heading out early. It's still fairly dark. We've had a full moon, or the end of the full moon, for the last few days, so we're going to drive around the east side of the big wood and just start out on the fields. The deer are probably going to be feeding on the fields all night, so they'll be heading back into the wood, so it's a case of us trying to catch up with some before they've gone in, and hopefully it won't be too dark to get some footage on camera. And then if there's nothing out in the fields, we'll have to head into the wood and stalk around in there, see if anything's moving around. Just going to pull in here next to this wood. This wood's now fully fenced off. Try and protect the ash seedlings from deer, just to see if anything's resistant to ash dieback. So that wood, we have a group of 3 guys that go in there and shoot any deer that's in season. There's not a lot of selection in there, it's just a case of trying to protect those trees. So we're going to park up here, check where the wind is. So according to the BBC weather app, which is usually wrong about most things, apart from the wind, it's usually right about the wind direction. We've got a northwesterly. So we're going to head over to my left towards the big wood, see what's out in the fields. It's the sort of middle of the female doe or the female cull season, so we can shoot red hinds, roe does. Obviously muntjac are open all year round anyway. We've got a 3006 with us, so it might be a bit big for the muntjac. But we'll head over there, see what's out in the fields, and take it from there. Go into the wood here and just look down the edge. There's 4 red spikers down there about 300 metres away, but they've already clocked us walking along, so we'll just leave them to it. Keep going through the wood and have a look on the other side. There's 4 red deer. They were just feeding through here. 5 stag at the end. But unfortunately they clocked us just as we were trying to move to work out how to get a shot on them. And they'd run along a reservoir bank away from us. I'll just keep going up steady, something else might be out still. Obviously having 2 camera people following you around isn't great, because when you're on your own you could have just got the gun up and probably got a shot on something quite quickly. But when you're trying to figure out how to get a video so you guys can see what's happening as well, it just means you're 5-10 seconds slower than you would be normally, and you're probably moving around a little bit more than you would be normally. But hey ho, on we go. I was hoping we might see a few just coming off these fields back into the wood. We could have got a shot off the top of the reservoir here, but obviously not. So we'll just keep going around the edge of the reservoir. We'll head up round where we just bumped those hinds and calves and that young stag, see if there's anything on the fields that side, and then we'll probably come back round and into the wood, see if we can find something on those rides. across the other side of this little plantation, there's a roebuck, and then there's a roe doe, I think it's a roe doe, just beyond one of those pine trees down there. So we'll keep going around the reservoir, just drop down around the dish, and we'll come back out on that side and just see if we can get round to them. Just walking around the inside edge of the reservoir, and this is a fossilised oyster shell from however many millions of years ago. This reservoir is sort of self-lined with its own clay, so everything on the inside here is dug out from the very bottom of the reservoir, so you find quite a few of these. Those two roe are still there, but there's no shot on them because there's a deer fence in the way protecting that plantation, so we'll just keep going round and see if we can swing round the edge of that deer fence. Bloody muntjac. Just spooked a muntjac out of the tree line. It's run round the fence, and the roe deer is just looking at it, trying to work out what's going on. You can see the two roe, but just can't get a shot because of this deer fence. It's just sod's law that the fence that protects the trees from the deer is now protecting the deer from us. Oh well, it's a joy of deer stalking. Right, we've had a look up that edge of the wood. There's nothing out up there now. So I think what we'll do is now we've come down this far is we'll just keep going down, coming at the very bottom of the big wood, work our way back up through a ride through the middle. We're seeing quite a few, just need a bit of luck really. Another roe doe down at the bottom of the field here, just where that hedge runs down. It's not too far away, but we need to get a bit closer. We'll just go down the back of this hedge to try and pop out a bit closer down there. Okay, doe down. Lovely. So 140 metres off the sticks, we're actually looking to take an older doe, but that kind of clocked us and moved away. And then when they moved down behind these brambles a little bit, two more came out. So we shot this one, which is sort of 2 or 3 year old. So the old doe's gone off with the kid, which was also a doe kid. Shot it just behind the shoulder here with a 30-06. It's quite a big round for a roe. So it's come out just through the shoulder on the other side, made quite a big hole. Just for those of you that don't know, if you look at the rump patch on a roe deer in the winter coat, all the females have this little tuft of hair that sticks out, which is catchily called the anal tush. So when you've got a young buck, like a buck kid that's only just started to grow pedicles and then going to grow its antlers, it might look like a doe at a distance. So you need to try and get them side on and look for the anal tush just to make sure it's a female before you shoot it. So yeah, we'll keep going, see if we can find something else. Be nice to get a red if we can this morning. There's plenty of red slots around, and still early, 20 past 8, so we'll keep going for a bit, see what happens. We'll leave that there. Reload. Keep going. Just pushed a muntjac out of this little clump, but definitely no safe backstop on that. Just come into the wood here, and although it's still January, from this time onwards the sap's going to start rising up through the trees for the spring, and the deer will come in and they'll bark strip certain species. So fraying is where they're rubbing the bark off with their antlers, bark stripping is where they're doing it with their teeth, and then they're eating it for like the minerals and stuff that's coming up in the sap. So you can see on here where the red deer have gone in with their bottom set of teeth because they don't have top teeth, and they've just dug underneath the bark and just stripped it up like that. See the tooth marks in it. So we're just coming into the section of wood now, where this morning as we walked in towards the wood we saw those 4 spikers on the edge of the wood. That was just down here on the right, so we'll just go nice and steady up through here, just have a good look with the binoculars and see if there's anything there still. So just stalking up the ride here, looking for reds really, but there's no sign of anything at the moment, and we're sort of more than halfway up through the wood. They're probably up a bit further, but we've seen so many muntjac this morning, we've got to try and take one eventually. So quite a big muntjac doe through the trees here was just barking at us, and just took it through the shoulder, so we'll go and have a look and hope that the 30-06 hasn't made too much of a mess on it. And then we'll keep going for some red, or we're going to have breakfast. good mature muntjac doe. Shot just on the shoulder, slightly quartering away from us. Hasn't actually made too much of a mess on the other side, but tend to shoot the muntjac through the shoulders anyway because there's not a lot of meat on those, and just keep the bullet away from the stomach area. Obviously if you shoot it behind the shoulder and they're stood dead side on and you pulled the shot back a little bit, then you can be straight into the stomach and obviously ruin the carcass. So as long as the saddle and haunches are okay, then the game dealer's fairly happy. So we've come out for red this morning, and we've ended up shooting a roe doe and a muntjac doe. So we've got maybe an hour more we can keep going for, so maybe we'll find a red and do all 3 species, but if not, we've got a couple in the bag. So just where we shot that muntjac, just turn around, see on this tree, it's an ash tree, which is quite unusual. The deer don't tend to fray on like hardwoods as much as like pines, or they like fraying on certain hardwoods like willow and stuff like that, but obviously this is fraying where the red deer have stuck their antlers into the tree, so you can see the single lines where the spikes of the antlers have gone in, giving it a good rubbing. Had a poo at the bottom of it, and then went on his merry way to munch some more of our woodland. So yeah, fraying with the antlers and bark stripping with the teeth. So I've just come across this fairly impressive red deer wallow. So this is where the usually stags come and roll around in the mud, particularly in the rut and in the summer. Get absolutely caked in stinking mud. Sometimes the hinds go in as well, but it's generally more the stags. So you can see the footprints around the edge of it. We've got a herd of reds up in front of us, about 180, 200 metres away. So we just got up on a group of red deer about 180 metres away. Probably a good 20 there, but they actually clocked us as soon as we had to get over this little ditch. They clocked us coming through there, and then although I could see a couple to shoot at, they were just more deer stood behind them, so just not safe to shoot, which is annoying, but there we go. We'll keep trying. So we just bumped a couple of stags, one sort of 2-year-old, one 3 or 4-year-old, a little bit further to the right than where those hinds were originally. We probably could have got a shot on one of those, but it's a bit too good to shoot really. Keep heading down. So, just got to the end of the wood for what we're going to do this morning. Obviously didn't manage to get a red, which is annoying because we really wanted to. We've got quite a few to cull now before the end of the season. But all the best made plans never come to fruition when you want them to, so we'll go and grab that roe doe and the muntjac doe, get those sorted out, and then head back to the larder. finished up doing these two in the larder. That row came out of 15.5 kilos and the muntjac was 8 kilos. So they'll go in the chiller now, and within a week they'll be collected by Ben Rigby Game down in Essex. They take all of our deer, and yeah, go and grab some breakfast now, and then we'll be out stalking this afternoon. I'll try and find a red and see if we can do 3 in a day. It's just after 1:15 now. I've had a full English breakfast, so fully recharged, and we're going to head back up to the big wood and try and catch up with some of those red deer we saw this morning. So we've got 4.5 hours. We'll wander around for a bit in there, and if we don't have any luck, then we'll probably end up on a field for last light, see if anything comes out. So we'll probably leave any roe and muntjac we see this afternoon and just try and get 1 or 2 reds down. Just driving up the side of the wood just to go into the wood to park up, and there's 6 roe out in the field there. You can see we've got 3 does and 3 bucks. They're just running off now. So this time of year they do get together in sort of larger groups, rather than just being on their own or in small family groups. It's one of the reasons in like January, February, when we'll start to take some of the mature or old does, because the young that we're going to leave on their own have got the other deer to go off with for the rest of the winter. You can see when you're looking through there, the 2 on the right are both females. We've got the anal tush just dangling down out of the rump patch. So obviously the buck kids haven't got that, and if they're standing dead side on, you can usually see a little bit of hair coming down where their willy is. Obviously the crops are growing up a bit now as well, so there's a bit more food for them to go at, rather than just picking around in the wood. So we'll leave them nice and quiet and come back for one of those another day. Definitely at least 1 red deer, about 140 metres through the trees. There's obviously going to be more than just 1, but all I can see is 1 at the moment. That's the front one I've just shot. It's going to go down in a sec. Now going down. Well, struggled like hell this morning, and then this afternoon we've parked the car up, walked in 150 metres, bumped a load of red deer that ran out to the right that were standing in this more open stuff where we've just shot that second one. But I could see another few through this old hazel pen in here. Managed to get a shot on one. I think she's run to the right and fallen down through here. And then the other 3 that were remaining, ran out through here, managed to get a shot on, I think it's a calf, just through here, and then the other two have just run off, so that's the end of that. But yeah, what a difference. That's what a fried breakfast can do for you. Yeah. Good boy. Good boy. So we've got Oaken, the Labrador. He's about 1 3/4 years. So he's sort of just getting into his training at the moment, really. So we're going to go back through where the deer was stood. It's about 20 minutes, half an hour after we just shot. So we go through, try and find the track where the red deer ran, because with these big red deer you don't get much evidence where they were stood, where you took the shot. So we'll just try and pick up the track where it ran and just let him scent along the track till he finds the hind, and then hopefully go on and find the calf as well. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, gonna be a good boy. Come on in. Good boy. So already, like, we're walking where we came in through the wood. The dog can already smell that we've been through here already, so he knows what the game is. Good boy. Good boy. Here. 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 Good boy. Yeah. So this is where we took the first shot, through here. So I'll try and walk through to where I think the deer was stood anyway, but he might pick up the trail where the deer ran through. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Steady. Ooh. Sit. So just going to go forward a bit more. The deer was just stood in here when we shot. I can actually see the hind is laid dead through here, so it's run 30-40 metres. But we'll just take him forward and then just let him come round on the track. Good boy. Steady. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. What do you got? Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Eh? Whoa. What's that then? Good boy. Good. So the only problem when you've got that many red deer about there is there's a lot of scent. So the dog can sometimes struggle to find exactly where it is, but obviously once he's caught the scent where they've run through, he's straight on it. So this is the exit, just over halfway up the body, just behind the shoulder. So the entry is actually just through the shoulder, about here somewhere. Just gone in and turned up a little bit as it's come out. So we got a good size late middle aged hind, almost going on for old really, just tell by looking at her face. Yeah, good size animal. The dog's enjoying the blood, so we'll just keep walking through here and find that calf we shot. Come on. Come on. Here. Steady. Come on. Here. Here. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. You found another one, have you? Come on. What's this? What's this? Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Eh? Good boy. Right, so we got a hind calf, just 100 yards away from the other one, where the other one lays really. So yeah, another chest shot, just above, behind the shoulder again. This one's been rolling around in the mud a fair bit. Just exited at the front of the shoulder on the other side. So that's a calf from last year, so born last May, June. We'll head back now, get the trailer and the quad, because I'm not dragging that big hind. Well, it's just not physically possible unless we gralloch it in the field, and then it's still going to be a hell of an effort. So we'll go back and get the quad, get these pulled out to the ride, get them picked up with a trailer, back to the larder and get them sorted out. Come on then. Good boy. Good boy. Just finished up sorting out these two red deer. So we've got this old hind that weighed in at 87 kilos, and then we've got that hind calf 44 kilos. Just a size comparison, you got, you know, a really big hind on the right here with a big muntjac doe on the left hand side. So 87 kilos, the muntjac was 8 kilos, the roe was 15.5 kilos. So it's been a successful day. We do a thing on the estate called a McHouston, which is when you get a red roe and a muntjac in a day. So obviously we got that and went one better with an extra red. So thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe and tell your friends about it.